Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. I've got some more classic FAF coming your way this afternoon, chaps, courtesy of Chosen and that replay pack I was telling you about the other day. So thank you to him. Always nice to reminisce. And on that front, I've also got a quick request from T.A. Nomsbringer. He's been doing some reminiscing of his own. He's been reading some of the Dots Warlock fan fiction stories. For those of you who don't know Dots Warlock, he was, or he is, he's still alive, thankfully. He's a fan fiction writer who did a lot of work on SOPCOM and FA between the years of, I think, 2007 to 2011 or something. I think there's about 6 or 7 novellas out there, if memory serves. So it's a hell of a lot of good storytelling there for you guys to go and read, should you feel that the mood strikes you to do so. And as always, I will be putting a link to those stories, or at least his website, in the description below this video. If I haven't done so, just yell at me as always, guys. You know what to do in the comment section below. Keep it clean, though. Of course, this is a family show. Anyway, on to today's game. It's going to be a ladder match, and it's going to take place on Twin Rivers. So let's go over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. So all pretty familiar with Twin Rivers by now, needing no introduction, but our players deserve one, so we're going to give it to them. Up here in the blue corner, going Cybrin, it's Yann. He's opening first land, and I'm guessing with the amount of P-gens he's queuing up there, that's going to be second air, going to be getting a shell of them ready for that to slot right in there. And with that many P-gens, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I think-ish. That many P-gens, you could be looking at a little bit of early Jester play coming out from him. We'll have to keep an eye on that, see how that goes. But anyway, that's Yann, and he's facing off against Maverick down here in the red corner. He's going the ever-gleaming and sexy UEF, opening first land and second air. Not quite as many P-gens, of course, but he's looking a little bit more aggressive on the early build orders. Seeing a Mech Marine emerging there in the first 2 or 3 units to come out of that, and another Mech Marine as well. So we're looking at a decent little bit of early lab play, light assault bot play coming out of Maverick's corner, and that first lab going to beeline it straight to this mass point back here. It's going to probably lie in wait for an engineer to befoul his path. We have got some Mantis in play now from Yann, and if he knows what's good for him, he's going to send that to escort this engineer, and he's doing exactly that. Very predictable level of play there, obviously, coming out from Maverick. This is very consistent with the meta. This is generally the area you're going to be worried about early on in the first couple of minutes of Twin Rivers. So he's going to have that Mantis and that Mole, a little bit of intel for him there to lie in wait for that Mech Marine who thinks he's going to get a kill. He's been ever so excited about his first mission, and he's not even going to make it home empty-handed. Nice little bit of micro there from Maverick. A little bit of dodging work, but it wasn't enough. Does manage to take that Mantis down to around 65% of his HP. But alas, no more birthdays for him. But lots of Mech Marines now pushing north from on both sides of the map, actually. East and south. But no success there on that side either for that second one. And this third one is going to try and sit at the corner of these 4 mass points here, but as Yann's seen it, he must have seen something. He's beelining straight to it. That Mole, just 1 hit point left on it. It's not going to see another birthday either, but it has paid off. It's revealed that Mech Marine and allowed for another little kill there from that Mantis. Yet more micro there from Maverick. That was actually quite nice. Manages to finish off that Mantis, but again, not going to get in to any kind of engineer killing. He's been discovered, and so he's going to have to find some kind of alternative place to hide. He's going to chill out on the beach there. They're so cool, Mech Marines. They're one of the coolest looking units in SOPCOM. Run around with their 2 little guns on the hands. I see like larger versions of it fast. I suppose it's kind of a little bit like Ilshiva, but certainly UEF could do with a Super Soldier. We're seeing some bombers coming out from Yann, starting to harass Maverick's main base, and we're also seeing an early move to the side island there from Maverick. So this could be a nice early grab from him. Good, decent maneuver from him. It's going to help him get ahead eco-wise, but bombs away from Yann. Not going to have so much success now. There's some static D, a railgun in place there from Maverick, and super early T2 coming out from Maverick. This is quite the gamble. 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes gone and 30% done on that land factory. It's quite interesting. We'll see how that pans out. So I find it quite interesting, or quite risky at least, on a map like Twin Rivers when there's so much mass to play, and you've got a good bet that your opponent is going to be funneling that mass into as much spam as he can get his hands on. If you're too light on the ground units because you've gone tech too early, you could really shoot yourself in the foot. You don't have enough units on the field to repel all of the spam that's coming your way. It's going to be an early GG, but I'm sure Maverick knows what he's doing. Bomber coming over the top, knocking down one of these Mantis. Has already taken out that mass point, but it's going to be too late to save the second one. That bites the dust as well. And you can already see Maverick setting up shop down here on the bottom right side island. And yet more Mech Marines trying to defend against this Mantis, and an engineer here trying to throw together a plasma cannon. Mech Marines didn't buy him enough time to do so though, however, and he gets knocked down and will not finish that plasma cannon. That will also get destroyed, and now all four of these mechs is in jeopardy. This is not ideal for Maverick. He's losing mass points early on in this one. Bomber comes in and drops its bomb on its own plasma cannon. Not sure quite what went wrong there. A little bit of targeting fail. Mantis now on the move, recognizing the threat, but I don't think he's going to be successful in microing out of the way. One of them still alive, though, to his credit. And that means more mass pumps in jeopardy for Maverick. He has managed to complete that T2 factory, has started off building engineers, going straight for T2 power. This is yet more risky play from Maverick, going straight for tech, queuing up a ton of P-gens. I just wonder if he's going to have enough on the field. Look at the large clumps of T1 that's building up for Yann on all sides of the map. Luckily, he's got a couple of plasma cannons in place down here, Maverick to defend, but Yann brings his Medusas too far forward in that one, and decent intel there from Maverick allows him to swap those aside. But a nice push down here on the right-hand edge, the eastern edge of the map, by the eastern river from Yann. Has nullified all four of these mechs now, is now threatening two more, and potentially all of the rear mechs as well. All depends how bold Yann is willing to be. What's his scouting been like? We take a look at what he can see. He should be aware of that early tech now, and for me that should be a sign that he needs to push on forward and get in the back there and cause as much damage as possible. Now seeing some skyboxes on the field which will nullify the air units from Yann, and we're also seeing the first mongoose rolling out onto the front lines. Will that be enough to hold Yann at bay? That's a lot of T1 crap he's got on the field down here at the bottom right hand corner. But Maverick securing the top side island as well, so that is the saving grace out of all of this. At least he might not be doing too well eco wise on the main body, but he's got control for the moment of the two side islands and all of the mass that goes with it. Maverick securing the top section here with a couple of T1 PDs. Got his ACU in the area as well, going to get blasting away on those Medusas that threaten that body of point defense. But Yann is going to scroll south with another few units here, another few Medusas. I'm not even sure what happened there. There must have been a last shell from the Medusas down here that landed on it, but Maverick taking a lot of Mantis fire now, and from Yann's ACU under an awful lot of fire and completely alone. He's got some more troops coming in here from the west, but he's on around 4,000 hit points and plummeting. He's going to be in the red any second now. Yann focusing on his commanders. Could be an early ejection from the game. When I say ejection, an early GG. He gets his mongoose in amongst the hostile forces as he bought himself enough room, though. Yann still continuing to press. More units coming in from the north there from Yann. Just 1,300 hit points left on Maverick's comm. Yann sensing blood here at minute 11. Does he want to continue to press? That's the question. It doesn't look like he's going to. He looks like he's content with knocking down these forward factories for the moment. He's got such a huge advantage at the moment in numbers, yet more reinforcements coming in. Maverick not going to want to stay too close to his troops, but at the same time he's going to want every gun that he's got at his disposal to help keep the forward reaches of his base intact. He's throwing together as many units of T1 point defense as he can. Maverick, does he have access to overcharge yet? Just got it. You can see he just completed it now, so at least he'll be over to overcharge some of these units, but he doesn't want to get too close to them. And Maverick's converse perception of sportsmanship rearing its ugly head once again in chat there. Surely he thinks he's beaten at this point, but it was a risk going for such early tech on this one. It has to be said. Yann absolutely crucifying these forward structures now with hordes and hordes of Mantis, taking a lot of casualties though, it has to be said, thanks to these plasma cannons. The EMP temporarily knocking them out of commission here and there from these Medusa shells. Maverick trying to throw together some triads and a whole bank of triads further back. He anticipates the need to retreat behind them, I guess, in the future, as this horde of Cybran spam just begins to overwhelm the outer reaches of his base. He's recovered a little bit, up to around 2,300 HP, and Yann has taken quite a lot of casualties, I guess, on this forward section of the field here, and that's dissuaded him from pushing any further, but he's quite happy to sit back here and start producing some static defense of his own. He wants to hem Maverick in as best he can. There's a nicely placed triad there, which is going to secure this section of the map from any potential run-bys from Yann. If I were him right now, I would be funneling troops down this way. Medusas and Mantis knock down that PD. He needs to get in the back and start finding places where he can continue to hurt Maverick now that he's got him bottled up inside his base. He's going to really struggle to crack this nut at the moment. He's going to need some range, he's going to need some tech. Some hoplites right now will go a long way now that he's got all of this to play with. I have to look at Eco the old-fashioned way now, of course, because this is before the wonderful changes to the UI. Yann bottlenecking power hard though, so we can't quite see where he should be on mass. We'll come back to that in just a second. Maverick throwing an upgrade on his commander. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the engineering suite. Help get some more HP on that comm, and soon, because there's another attack coming his way. There's quite a lot of mongoose on the field now from Maverick, and it looks like enough. This is a very dense unit or ball of T2 units and point defense inside here for Maverick, so it is going to be tough for Yann to break, especially if he's going to stick to T1. I'd like to see some tech coming out. We have already got tech from him. We can see Vipers on the way. That's exactly the right thing from Yann. Wants to break this little turtle in here. So definitely the way to go. He's going to have to hold position a little bit further back. That forward triad just ranging everything at the moment. You can see he's even picked up all four of the bottom right mexes down here, Yann, from that other starting location. But still, having made no attempt on the side islands, I guess he feels like he doesn't need them at the moment. Nasty little group of jesters waiting there for Yann. Could certainly use those if he can get these interceptors to grab air superiority. Take out the interceptors there from Maverick. He could certainly get in here and do some real damage to the rear eco, or maybe even on some of the side islands. You can see Maverick is teching up on the side islands eco wise. Perhaps we can actually see how these guys are doing now. Maybe Yann has sorted out his power issues. Yes, he has. And we're looking at around 67 mass per tick, I think, coming in from Yann, to around 64 from Maverick. So there's not a lot in it thanks to the early grab of the side islands. Maverick will certainly be pleased he went for those in the midst of the early game. And nasty as these jesters are, certainly Yann's not going to want to get them anywhere near these skyboxes. They will absolutely shred them. Perfect counter at this point. And he's got air units, he's got air dominance, it's certainly fair to say, as Yann's interceptors polish off the last of Maverick, so he can go anywhere at this point. He really should be harassing the side islands. He's not going to be able to affect too much damage in the main base, I don't think, for Maverick, because he's got air cleaners, he's got skyboxers. This is a very small, dense, well-fortified part of the map, and indeed he is sticking to the fringes with these jesters. It's exactly what he should do. Maverick dispatches the interceptors he's got to try and deal with them, but they move on out of harm's way, managing to pick up both units of point defense over there on the edge as well. But Maverick forward again, taking a lot of fire back into the red, obviously wanting to use that ACU to the maximum effect that he can. Jesters came in there to try and finish him off, but you can see they just got annihilated thanks to those skyboxers. Stood no chance whatsoever. So Maverick just coming forward, knocking down Vipers and retreating again, buying himself what time he can, gets back into the yellow. That might have been a nice rank of veterancy, keeping him in it there. See what Maverick's got on that comm. He has got the engineering suite, and I think he had the gun upgrade as well. Indeed, he has the Zeph amp. So that is still something to be wary of. He might be low on HP, but he's very dangerous. And this is where things start to become a little bit of a problem for Yann psychologically, because he's got this game won at the moment, but he continues to get Maverick down into the red, but can't seem to finish him off. And all that does is that makes the aggressor see proverbial red and continue to attack when he should be thinking about hampering eco on other sides of the map, because Maverick is actually ahead on score right now. I know that doesn't mean anything.
Commander under
61
attack.
mass still to 71, so there's not a great deal in it between these two guys. Maverick looking very dangerous up front, and now with the emergence of parashields as well, Yann needs to start respecting this commander a little bit more than he has been. 89 kills on it with a regen of 49 hit points per second on that comm. Now just another clump added to it, 52 hit points per second. 11,000 hit points of 21,000 total. And despite the fact that map control has been ceded in large quantities, he's still very dangerous. He's even managing to expand down here at the bottom right, managing to cap these mass extractors at the bottom here. But once again he comes forward, absolute Rambo style at the moment. Maverick with this commander, shedding quite a lot of hit points though, but another rank of veterancy. That surely must be 5 stars now. Takes him back up to 14,000 hit points. I guess at the moment Yann feels he can continue to press. He's got a lot of Vipers, and actually what he's doing, he's bottling up the commander. He's throwing away a lot of units, yes, but at the same time a lot of these missiles are getting through, and the base back here is slowly being diminished. You see buzzkills back here failing to keep up with the amount of Viper spam, and that's what's keeping Maverick out front. He needs to knock down these missile launchers because they really are wreaking havoc on his base. Thankfully he has a T2 shield gen in place that he can retreat to. That is an awful lot of Vipers. This overcharge waiting to happen in here. Guess he's low on power at the moment, otherwise we'll certainly be seeing more of it. He is completely out of power at the moment, so yeah, he is without the most useful tool on that ACU at the moment. And we've actually got Janus on the field, so Maverick's found the time and the resources to tech up his air. continuing to throw fighter bombers into the mix as well to try and diminish this monstrous body of spam sitting up here for Yann. Yann does have quite a few Sky Slammers in the mix, but not so effective against T2 Air, of course. Janus continues to make strafing runs right through the middle of the pack, taking out large bodies of T1, and we've already got T3 on the field from Yann, so Loyalists starting to join the pack, and surely that must spell doom for Maverick, who's fought so valiantly to hold this force at bay. Vipers continue to skirmish and harass. As the first few Loyalists turn up in the pack, be very surprised if Maverick can hold this off. He's going to need that overcharge more than ever. Has he replenished his stocks of power? Yes, he has.
Commander under attack.
And now, once again, finds himself alone and potentially in danger. And now there are Loyalists on the field. That's a significantly larger amount of damage that could be coming his way. Yann could do a lot worse than to send them in right now, as Maverick's down to around 8,700 HP once again. There's more action happening over here as well. Just keep an eye on both of these battles. Large amount of build capacity getting slaughtered there for Maverick. Maverick busy overcharging the Loyalists where he can.
Commander under attack.
That little engagement ends once again. Overcharging left and right. Certainly replenished his power regen nicely. He's keeping his comm in the fray just enough to not absorb all the fire, but keep range of that overcharge cannon on the Loyalist. But Yann wants to press. He's got to get the commander in amongst his own units. Maverick descends into the red once again, 4,000 hit points and falling. He has to bring in what units he's got. They're continuously getting EMP'd by the Medusas in the mix. This is very tense, close stuff. Well played from Maverick. He's not getting any more extended than he needs to be. Any more exposure to incoming fire than he needs to be. But Yann continues to press. 4,000 hit points left on the comm. Overcharge is doing enough to keep him alive. Once again, Yann seems to be running out of units. I don't believe it. 3,900, 4,000 hit points. Excellent regen now on that commander. 55 hit points per second, but Jesters come in, trying to finish off Maverick once again. But they get tidied up far too quickly thanks to the Janus and interceptors that are now in the area. Yeah, not keeping up with the air game, but he is absolutely everywhere down here at the moment with his spam. Maverick unable to get a foothold on this side of the map. Janus going after the body of troops once again. Slow this up and take a quick look at what's happening on the eco side of things. So Maverick 59 mass per tick. Yann 63, not pulling that far ahead, but look at the difference in reclaim. 5,000 reclaim for Yann, 16,800 reclaim for Maverick. Of course, he's had the ability to do so because of all of the torrent of stuff that's just had thrown at him. Once again, he finds himself low on HP. Thankfully, he has those parashields to absorb some of that fire while his overcharge recharges. Once again, use it to knock aside these Loyalists. I think at this point it wouldn't be a bad idea for Yann to switch to bricks, but he's actually suffering quite a lot from these Janus. His commander's doing the Twin Rivers two-step right now, trying to avoid their fire. But he doesn't have a lot down here to deal with him. He's got a lot of Sky Slammers, but like we were saying before, they find it really difficult to deal with those T2 units. He's bringing in some Inties now, but he's definitely not got enough to contend with Maverick's interceptors, and Maverick's actually shuffling right with some ground forces, and he's under a lot of pressure here. He needs to get back. He needs to get some flak down here. Some bangers. He manages to finish off the ground units without any difficulty, but I can't believe the amount of time this is buying Maverick right now. And Yann's actually into the red. 2,000 hit points and falling, and he's got to be careful. He doesn't want to get hung up on his own troops either. That will reduce his ability to micro. Under 1,000 hit points. Where is the flak? He's got Sky Slammers everywhere, but they're just not getting the job done. 300 hit points. Is this going to be an unbelievable turnaround? And Yann can't believe it. Maverick can, because he just loves himself. Unbelievable. That's a ridiculous game. Yann must be so angry. Oh, if only he had thrown more flak into the mix there, that wouldn't have been such an issue. He definitely should have focused less on trying to finish off Maverick and more on knocking aside everything else. He had him penned in. He would not have been able to reinforce the side islands had he gone for some drops. Had he gone earlier before all of this T1 PD had got placed as well, he could have gone in the back here and wiped all of this out on a number of occasions. Literally, there was just that triad for a while there, sealing off that back area. If he'd have brought some Medusas down, knocked that out, that would have been easy pickings for him. But this is one of the problems with Subcom sometimes. You get angry, you see your opponent nearly dead, and you just think, all I've got to do is keep pressing. I've got overwhelming numbers here, and if your opponent is decent enough with the micro on his comm, he can cause major troubles for you. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that game. As always, more to come from me in the future. In the meantime, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle, signing out.